Did you catch the game last night? If not, you missed a rip-roaring spectacle of football. Now, let's rewind a bit. We're talking about the face-off between the mighty Arsenal and the ever-determined Aston Villa. The stakes high, to say the least. Arsenal, with their eyes on the Premier League title, needed a win to stay hot on the heels of the league leaders, Manchester City. Aston Villa, on the other hand, were eyeing a spot in the top four, with Tottenham breathing down their necks. The stage was set for a thrilling contest. As the game kicked off, both teams looked eager to stamp their authority. But it was Aston Villa who drew first blood. Enter Leon Bailey, Villa's talisman, who decided to add to Arsenal's woes. With a stunning strike, he found the back of the net, leaving Arsenal's defence as confused as a tourist in London without a map. The Gunners were left scratching their heads, wondering just how Bailey had managed to navigate through their defence with such ease. As the first half progressed, Arsenal tried to regroup and retaliate. They pushed forward, seeking an equaliser, but Villa's defence stood resolute. And let's not forget Emiliano Martinez, Villa's goalkeeper, who was pulling off saves like a cat with 9 lives. Meanwhile, Villa's manager, the former gunner Unai Emery, was quietly orchestrating this tactical masterclass from the sidelines. You could almost see him savour the sweet taste of revenge against his former employers. The first half was a roller coaster of emotions, with Villa fans ecstatic and Arsenal supporters biting their nails. The Gunners' defence seemed to be playing a game of hide and seek, while Villa's attack was more like a well-oiled machine, running smoothly and causing havoc. And so the first half ended with Villa in the lead, Arsenal's defence still looking for the instruction manual and their fans hoping for a miraculous second half. As the second half kicked off, you could feel the tension. Would Arsenal find their way or continue to wander aimlessly? The second half of the match was a spectacle to behold, with the spotlight falling on Ollie Watkins. Watkins, who was as nimble and sharp as a fox, found the back of the net, delivering a blow to Arsenal's hopes. This was not just a goal, it was a statement of intent, a declaration of dominance. It was as if he was saying, "Catch me if you can," and Arsenal, well, they just couldn't. It was like watching a hare race a tortoise, and the tortoise was Arsenal, struggling to keep up with Villa's blistering pace. The Gunners were just not firing on all cylinders. It was as if they had traded their high-powered artillery for water pistols. They couldn't find an answer to Villa's riddles, and it seemed they had left their thinking caps in the changing room. While the Gunners were firing blanks, Villa's goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez was having a field day. He was busier than a barman during happy hour, pulling off save after save. It was as if he had an invisible force field around the goal, and Arsenal's shots were just not getting through. Martinez was the wall that Arsenal couldn't breach, the guardian of Villa's goal, keeping the Gunners at bay with his cat-like reflexes. As the game wore on, Arsenal's hopes of a comeback started to fade like a sunset, and Villa's confidence grew. They were playing with a swagger, a self-assuredness that comes from knowing you've got the upper hand. The Gunners were left chasing shadows, and the villains were the puppet masters, pulling the strings and dictating the pace of the game. And there it was, the final whistle, with Villa's victory as surprising as a sunny day in London. As the dust settled on Emirates Stadium, the implications of this match started to sink in. The scoreboard read Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 0, a stunning performance that catapulted Villa into the much-coveted 4th place in the Premier League standings. 3 points ahead of Tottenham, they're sitting pretty and looking down at the rest with a sly grin. On the other side of the field, Arsenal's title aspirations took a hit harder than a cricket ball in a test match. Now, trailing 2 points behind the league leaders Manchester City, they're left scrambling to regain their footing. As for the Arsenal fans, they're probably needing a strong cup of tea, or perhaps something a bit stronger to deal with the shock. Maybe a spot of brandy to warm the old cockles, eh? Among the victors, Ollie Watkins stood out, named as the player of the match. An impactful performance on the pitch that left the spectators in awe and the opposition in despair. With the rate he's going, he'll need a bigger mantelpiece for all his awards. We're predicting a trip to IKEA in his near future, or perhaps a quick call to a carpenter if he's feeling particularly fancy. In the goal, Emiliano Martinez, the Villa's guardian of the net, made some crucial saves. His performance was as solid as a rock, as unyielding as a mountain. Arsenal's attempts to score were, well, like trying to squeeze water from that same mountain. So, as we wrap up, it's clear that Villa fans are celebrating, their cheers echoing far and wide. Arsenal fans, on the other hand, are commiserating, nursing their pride with a strong brew and a sigh. And the rest of us, we're just enjoying the unpredictable roller coaster that is the Premier League. Until next time, keep the tea strong and your hopes stronger. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.